In the last couple of sound bites, we've taken a little look at how to make diminished seventh chords. Now, let's start looking at ways they can be used. Now, this is quite a big subject, but let's start with a nice simple chord substitution idea that connects directly to the last couple of sound bites, where I hinted that a diminished seventh chord can make a useful substitute for a chord rooted a semitone or 1/2 step lower. This seems to work particularly well with non-diatonic chords. Remember that these are chords that introduce notes from outside the key. Let's look at a couple of examples. A seventh, D, D minor, A, E, A, That's a sequence you often hear used in blues turnarounds. Here's how the sequence looks with the two non-diatonic chords circled in red. As a reference, I've listed the basic diatonic series for the key of A major underneath. So you can see that A seventh and D minor are not included in this series. Hence, we can describe them as non-diatonic chords. So let's listen to what happens when we replace our two non-diatonic chords with diminished seventh chords rooted a semitone higher. Here's the original sequence. So now we're going to change A seventh to A sharp diminished seventh, and we're going to change D minor to D sharp diminished seventh. So that's going to make our sequence sound like this. You should be able to hear that the basic function of these chords, in terms of tension and resolution, is only subtly altered by these substitutions. Is one of making the sequence a little less ordinary, perhaps a little less bland. If you'd like to try that, here's a reminder of the shapes I'm using for the diminished seventh chords. So A sharp diminished seventh is just A seventh with the root raised 1 fret, and D sharp diminished seventh is D seventh with the root raised 1 fret. Okay, now here's another sequence often used in blues-based progressions. We're sticking to the key of A to keep things simple, although this one starts on the chord D. This one has 3 non-diatonic chords. Again, we've circled them in red, and you can use the diatonic series of A major to confirm that these are indeed non-diatonic chords. D minor again, F sharp 7th and B 7th. And if we apply our simple chord substitution principle to these three chords, we would change the sequence to this. The D minor has changed to D sharp diminished 7th, the F sharp 7th has changed to G diminished 7th, and the B 7th has changed to C diminished 7th. So now, instead of we've got I hope you can hear that just about works okay and perhaps makes the sequence a bit more interesting, whilst retaining the basic function of the chords in terms of tension and resolution. Here are the chord shapes I'm using for the G diminished 7th and the C diminished 7th. Notice that the G diminished 7th is a slight variation on the E string rooted chord I showed you in the last soundbite. So I'm using the same principle of taking the E7 shaped chord for the chord a semitone lower, this rooted on the F sharp in this case, and then just moving the root up a step. But when you do this using the bottom four strings, you get rather a muddy sounding chord. So I prefer to bring this second string into play. So I've got those three strings held down there, but using those three fingers. And then I'm putting my root back there. And with that finger I'm also killing the fifth string. And that for me is just a slightly less muddy sound than the alternative. Which is why I prefer it. As I said, that just about works. However, as a songwriter, I would feel as if I would want to improve on it. So in the next soundbite, I'll show you a great trick that I might use to do that. If you found this little video useful, please do click on the like button if there is one, or leave a comment, and do feel free to share the video with your friends. And if you'd like to gain full access to all our guitar teaching materials, please do visit the Secret Guitar Teacher site and take a free look round at what's available there. See you again soon.